We are live.
Well, hey, well, hey. So, as you're drinking, shall I introduce it or shall you?
Yes.
That's not a decision. I was asking, come on, yes, that's your answer.
Yes.
Shall we go left or shall we go right? Yes. Welcome, folks. This is Sunday night. It's WGC Terrain Incorporated with the mighty Terrain Tutor. Well, I'm the Terrain Tutor. We've got Titan Terrain Studios over there, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as you can see, yeah, it's going to be one of those shows.
Unfortunately, Bill is having some technical issues with his computer, I believe. He's unfortunately not able to join us.
Well, my YouTube is playing up wonderfully, as it always does, and so I am literally just trying to connect now, and we'll see if we can pull up the comments. In fact, it looks like it's updated, but that's neither here nor there, guys. You're not here to talk about my Firefox. Right, got that. Let's find the Let's find the live feed so we can join in with all our commenters. If you're watching now, guys, yeah, say hi. Join us in the comments so we can start talking to you, yeah?
And we would also like to apologize for the loss of the comments from last month's show. YouTube was glitching really hard, and we didn't realize that it just erased all the comments from that show. So if you did ask a Q&A, we are sorry. That is out of our control.
Now, we should say we are actually lacking one of our colleagues today. Yeah, the mighty Terrainaholic, our good mate Bill. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, yeah, we haven't been able to get in touch with him, and we think he's having comms issues. So we're hoping that he'll pop along soon enough. But if not, yeah, it's just me and Matt for tonight.
Yes. All right, so, Mel, would you like to start off with recent news, or would you like me?
Well, you start off just while I track these comments down so we can start making sure.
Really hard. All right, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and activate the screen share here. All right. You'll also notice I've actually got my good computer is back up, so we no longer shall experience the lag on my end. So, not as much this month as there was last month. First, Waterloo Terrain from Sarasa Precision. This looks to be some pretty good, looks like 17th to 18th, maybe 19th century. I'm not quite sure the exact date, but it is pretty neat looking, as you can see in these pictures.
Yeah, this stuff is getting better and better, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It looks like it's made out of MDF, and we will just kind of scroll through these pictures for a moment. Yes, it is MDF, as you can see right there.
Yeah.
So laser cut MDF, that stuff is really, it's getting to the point where you have so many choices with this stuff. Look, they've got a windmill. That's really cool.
If you noticed also, we're starting to see a real trend in the industry with pre-painted. And
yes.
Well, it's pre-printed, isn't it? Because the colours are printed on, they're not painted on. But do you know what I mean? You're getting finished coloured pieces rather than bare MDF now.
And then the next thing is Micro Art Studio has released this little sort of scatter terrain piece for a Croven SUV. It's just a little resin scatter piece. It's small, but if you get a couple of these and paint them up differently, you can add some some vehicles to your infinity board. I personally think I'm going to pick up some of these and then paint them like desert camo for my infinity board.
You reckon? Ascenti's Workshop have done something similar, haven't they, as well?
I haven't got a chance to look at that one, but I will have to check it out later. All right, next. What's that?
Go on, next piece, Duty.
All right, next up is for you, the 10mm scale gamers out there. We have Stalingrad Terrain, which is Stalingrad Ruins by Green Stuff Industries. This is pretty cut and dry on this. They're little resin casts, it looks like. No, they're vacuum formed. Vacuum formed is not something you see very often.
It's old style, isn't it? It's how the terrain used to be done.
Exactly, like the old GW Hills, weren't they vacuum formed, I think, at first?
Yeah, I've got some myself. I still use them.
Oh, nice. All right, moving on to the next one. Tablescapes by Secret Weapon Miniatures. I have actively been watching these, and these things are amazing. One of the things you really have a hard time in this industry is it's really difficult to find really good game table tiles. of varied types. And these new Tablescapes ones are just amazing. They come in all sorts of different versions, and Secret Weapon is really pulling out all the stops. I mean, look at that linkage right there. That is some very good linkage to keep it from moving around. And the best part, they're also offering bases that match the board. That's fantastic. And next up is Dry Stone Walls and Scatter Terrain by Warlord Games. This is made originally for bolt action, though you could repurpose it for pretty much any game where you could use stone walls.
Yeah, it's certainly generic, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and that's 28mm too, so that would work for 40K Fantasy, pretty much any 28mm game, War Machine and Hordes. Very useful stuff. Now the next one, this one's something that I'm very excited about. Plastcraft Games, who you know I am really big about Plastcraft Games, have designed a Malifaux terrain series, and just look at this stuff.
It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, yeah, just looking at this is just wonderful. It kind of has this downtown Gothic Malifaux feel to it, and the kits come in, I believe, you have 3 different buildings, some walkways, and then also a couple of pieces of scattered terrain in the form of graveyards, and then sort of just random crates and trash, which really captures the look of Malifaux. That really desolate, dark look that the game has.
Whenever I see this stuff, the one thing it always reminds me of is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's really got that tinge. So I mean, it's designed for Malifaux, but any of those sort of pulp weird games, it's just going to fit perfectly into, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Look at the woodwork. I mean, it's beautiful.
Oh yes, and I am going to be very excited about getting a hold of some of these very shortly.
Do you think, those pieces are actually curved, where they look curved, or do you reckon it's almost an optical illusion by the shading?
Oh no, considering that I have actually put together the Plastcraft Terrain for their TME sets, it looks curved, it probably is curved.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all made from a plastic foam core, rather than just hard, rigid plastic, so it's bendable. And that's the best part about this stuff. If you wanted to mod it, Plastcraft Games makes probably some of the best sets, the easiest to mod.
You see, I've never actually had my hands on any of their stuff. So, I mean, what tools do you use? How do you,
I just use an X-Acto knife, and you can score it, you can cut it up. It's really wonderful. I can actually put a link below at the end of the show to my Plastcraft tutorials if people would like to take a look at what the quality of these will be comparable to. All right, so next up is a Indiegogo campaign for 6mm scale bunker systems. I thought this would be useful. I'm not really familiar with a lot of 6mm games, but it does look rather neat. It also still has 21 days left to fund. So as you can see, they've done some little CAD drawings here of what you're getting. And we can go down here. And this is what caught me, is all these little detailed sort of... it reminded me of the old Forge World sci-fi bases that they had for 40K years ago. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, that, just on a much smaller scale. So there's an example right there of how it turns out on your average gaming mat. So it's really small, but this would work for games like, what, Epic is 6mm, I think?
Yeah, Epic, Aeronautica Imperialis. There's quite a few sort of small... Is it Stargrunt as well?
Stargrunt. I have never heard of that one, but they're. Oh, you know what? Drop Zone.
That's straight from Tau, isn't it?
Yes, right there.
That tower. I'm damn sure I've seen that tower in Waterloo in Warhammer World.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that Epic was kept in mind with this Kickstarter, but it looks really good. And let's see, are they currently funded? Let's take a look-see. They are currently funded, so it's all gravy from here on in. So if you guys want to check that out, that is currently on Indiegogo. We'll put a link in the notes below after the show. Next up is another smaller scale, 15 millimeter terrain and accessories by Tabletop Art. It looks to be sort of a World War II style walls and medic tents. You've also got some Italian houses, some haystacks. Looks like a derailed war train. This might be built for Flames of War in mind, I believe.
There's actually a lot of historical war games played at 15 mil, and the reason being is, you know, the model tank kits from like Airfix and people like that. That's the scale they're at. So you know, there's a massive genre of 15 mil players, yeah, who've been playing war games, you know, historical war games, their own written rules and all that sort of stuff, using Airfix kits and not specifically war games models. Okay, and that's why you know you keep seeing these 15 mil historical stuff coming up. Okay, because there is actually a massive market for it.
Oh, cool. And they've also got this Normandy church. I really like how that church looks. It's very reminiscent of World War II.
Oh, most definitely.
Now, this is one that I think could be useful for just about any 28 millimeter game. Warlord Games has also released a wrecked house kit for bolt action. This just has so many, like I've said, Warlord Games, all their terrain is really usable for a lot of different systems. This could be used easily in 40K, this could be used in fantasy, this could be used in anything. And you see the guys on the picture right there. Those are 28 millimeters, so they're probably about in scale with maybe a tiny bit smaller than a Space Marine. I don't have any bolt action, so I can't say for sure.
It's roughly about the same scale. I mean, Space Marines are a little bit bigger, but they're supposed to be bigger, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Now, here's the cool thing. You remember the Operation Ice Storm set that came out for Infinity, the 2-player starter set?
Yeah.
Corvus Belli is releasing the terrain kit that came with it as a separate purchase. So for those of you familiar with Operation Ice Storm, if you've seen that, there's nothing really new to it, but you can purchase the foldable terrain separate now from Operation Ice Storm, and that'll be coming out here soon. Or actually might even be out because this article is from the beginning of October. So for those of you not familiar with it, it came with 6 containers, 4 buildings, and a gaming mat. And that's probably a pretty good buy, especially if you're just getting started in Infinity.
Well, I mean, not just Infinity, all sorts of games, but that's a table, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's everything you need.
And the best part is it's already pre-printed, so no painting. You can literally take it out of the box and get to playing. And that's Facebook. So that is the end of the news. We also, Deep Cut Studios released another couple of battle mats. They released a cobblestone mat, and they finally also came out with their new hell mat, I believe, which I'll put links in the bottom below. So that is it for my side of the news. So
I'll tell you what I'm looking. Just one final. I mean, we had the long battle mat discussion last week. Yeah, but one final thought I was thinking on the back of battle mats. Yeah, the first company that offers a battle mat printing service is gonna be minted.
Yes, that is true.
You know, do you know what I mean? Either work with their designers or fire them over, you know, the Photoshop PSD file, or you know, a high-res JPEG, or you know, a print quality file. You know, printed to your specifications. Oh, can you imagine it, mate?
Oh yeah, and I've had that done before myself. I remember my Eldorado battle mat because the Eldorado community had created a bunch of them since there wasn't any. So the files are just kind of floating around in the ether, where free for people to grab. I took it to a local print shop and had it printed off myself.
Well, in the UK, getting that sort of stuff printed is quite an expensive affair through local printers. It's not something they do that often. You know, they'll do the mouse mats, you know, because they're geared up to it. But a lot of our printing, when it comes to things like mouse mats and those sort of things, are done offshore, you know, or by large bulk, and you're actually brokering through your local printers. You know,
yeah, I know the Fat Mats by Frontline Gaming, they get theirs done over in China, I believe.
Yeah, but if there was a local company, I could just, like, you know, a gaming company, I could say, this is what I want, and they give me a gaming mat, not the closest the local printer can get to it, but you know what I mean. Right, yeah. Traction, no creasing, you know, designed for gaming. Now, just very quickly, and we should say we've got 6 people watching. Hello, 6 people. We've had a few comments made, so obviously I'm playing Comment Monkey tonight. So let's quickly take a stroll through and say hello. Right, Anthony Bragg from Bragg Miniatures, he's saying down, hi guys, it looks like the 3 amigos are down to 2, that's a shame. Really enjoyed the shows, keep them going please. Well, I mean, yeah, it's down to the 2 amigos now, yeah, and assuming none of us get hit by a meteor strike and we become, one of us becomes the last amigo.
Who's your money on who would get hit by the strike? You or me?
The way my day's going, mate, yeah, it would be me. Trust me, yeah.
I'm looking for... No, it's nighttime over there, so at least you'll possibly see it coming. Me, it's daytime, so I wouldn't even see it coming.
It's bonfire weekend. It's Guy Fawkes night. Yeah. So...
Oh, that's right.
And that was Saturday, but we still.
Yeah, but I mean, I live on like a council estate in the UK. It's like large community housing, you know, very large estate, yeah. So basically, over the bonfire period, yeah, it's twinned with Beirut, mate. Yeah, they're going off all the time through the day, the night. The kids have got them, the dogs have got them, the neighbours have got them, you know.
Oh, jeez.
And the bigger the better. So, you know, I wouldn't see it coming. Anyway, guys, moving on to the comments. Painting Troll is what you call it, is saying, evening folks, and he's saying Tim Burton would probably love to use it as a set, and I'm assuming that's going back to Plasticraft's Malifaux set.
Yes. Plasticraft is really, really usable for modifications. Unlike plastic kits and resin kits and the MDF kits, which are all awesome, if you're just going for sheer being able to do cool things with it, to turn it into something maybe a little different, or to, you know, make it ruined or whatever, it's just easy. It's literally one X-Acto knife, and you will be able, with a little time and effort, turn it into whatever you need.
Yeah, no doubt. Right, we've got Black Tower Terrain saying, hello, my friends. Hello, Black Tower. Yeah, Famous Gaming saying, howdy. Howdy, Joe. Yeah, Anthony's just saying hello to my fellow plastic junkies, polystyrene junkies, if you don't mind, sir.
That's right. We like the pink foam and occasionally the blue.
Yeah. You see, we're not watchful. It's not pink or blue. It's not a boy or a girl thing, is it?
No.
You know, it's a density thing.
Exactly.
You know, it's about the detail you can get. That's what the colours are about. It's not a gender thing, guys. Don't think just because we may use pink foam, we're showing our feminine side. We're not.
Yeah,
it's about. Shut up. See, I'm getting to the one there, aren't I? Okay, Painting Troll. This is what I've wondered. What the official 15mm scale, 176. 1 to 76 that Airfix does, or 1 to 72, that is the standard scale. Airfix is the only company I know of that does 1 to 76. I'll be perfectly honest with you, mate, Painting Troll. I just know that 15mm is based around sort of, you know, a common modeller's sort of tanks and aeroplane scale. You know, I'll be honest with you, I'm rubbish at those sort of scales. I recently found out that, you know, my videos are quite popular with the railway community, the guys who are making display railways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, you know, I got chatting with those, and, you know, it suddenly occurred to me when you look at their scales that I have no idea what a double O is, what a HO, and all these sort of scales are.
Because I've had a chat with the local place I get a lot of my materials is a train store, and 1 to 30 or 1 to 36, one of those two, I can't remember exactly, is roughly 28mm. Because I've looked into some of the kits he's had up there as well for like military vehicles, and as, you know, spare pieces of terrain. Because you know, if I really want to, you know, I could use a Land Raider or a Predator or something else that's really, really expensive, or I could go buy a $20, you know, German Panzer to use for bits in a terrain piece.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you're going to turn it into terrain, it's either got to be like a pro-painted, yeah, Predator from eBay. Pro-painted, gents, pro-painted. yeah, or like you say, a cheap model kit or a toy, that sort of stuff. You know, Bill would be screaming toy at us right now. He'd be screaming thrift store
toy.
How dare you desolate a model? You're going to buy a model? Very quickly, the JMG is saying hello. Hello there, sir. Right, okay, Famous Gaming is saying Horny is paired with Airfix and some buildings under Hornby may work. I'm assuming he meant Hornby at the start of that, and it wasn't some sort of... I must admit, I had to pause then and just reread that, and then you had to put it... Yeah, it is Hornby. What did you go watch that Horny and Hornby, mate? That's a bit iffy. But yeah, Hornby is paired with Airfix. Are they really? I didn't know that. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I'm going to have to research that more because the railway folks are always a good sort of supply. But just to sort of close this sort of scale comment down, do you find it challenging? I mean, 28 mil, 40k, let's say. Yeah, we all know what scale we're doing. You know, it's 3 inches per floor. You know, you fit it in with the cities of death stuff, and you know everything's going to be in scale. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know the right model's going to fit under it, etc. You know what your doors are going to have to be 60 mils wide. You know, well, 65 to get a 60 mil base standing in it. Mm-hmm. You know, and those are your basic sort of steps. But do you find it challenging as a terrain builder when someone goes, "I want it in this scale," and you've suddenly all of a sudden got to go, boom? I mean, how do you deal with that?
I'm going to be honest. I actually haven't gotten any major commissions for anything outside of probably 28 millimeter. I'd say the closest came to before I ever started doing this professionally at all. I built a Malifaux set for a friend of mine back home, and that's because they have the whole height. Everything is exact inches, so if it's height 3, it's 3 inches. The only thing that came into that is that was really simple to do. But in actual like differences of scale, I have not actually done much work with it. So I'm kind of stuck in the same boat that I would probably hit the ceiling and go, okay, how do I do this? More than likely, I would probably have to get a rule book and possibly a box of the models just for reference.
You see, I mean, I've only done it a couple of times, never professionally for people, you know, for bits with clubs. And so, hey! Right, can you go ahead?
Well, now we know who the meteorite hit.
You are the last amigo.
Yes, I am the last man standing.
It wouldn't be a live show without my camera going down, would it? Right, okay. I'm assuming you can see me now. Do you know what? I'd just like to give a quick shout out, yeah, to Logitech. Yeah, because the amount of times this camera's fallen off and smacked itself and it's still working. Yeah, high quality project Logitech. I am well pleased with my webcam. Yeah, which is a... I can't even see that right now. It's too late on a Sunday night. It's a very good webcam, I'm told. A C920 or something like that. But anyway, I digress. Going back to the scale thing, what I did was I'd actually got the models and I sort of tilted them onto a bit of paper and drew like the best silhouettes I could, and then sort of like literally in scale drew houses and to sort of get an idea of, you know, how it fits, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but that's the only way I could think of doing it, and it's such a challenge. Right, we've got a few more comments. Famous Game is saying, ha ha ha, Hornby. He's saying, what you call it, Epic playing Hearthstone. He's playing a game, that's why he's not typing properly. Famous Gaming, come on, get in with it, man. Dale Dixon, welcome, sir. Howdy from Iowa. I'm new to the live chat, found you through Mel's Facebook page. Welcome aboard, Dale. This is Matt, he's my good man, and the Titan of Terrain. Yeah, Painting Trolls saying Humbrol, Airfix, Corgi, and Scale Electric are all owned by Hornby models. Hornby Hobbies. So Hornby are like a super group then. Wonder what else Hornby owns.
Maybe it's like Disney that owns everything.
Right, Painting Troll saying, more duct tape for the camera stand to fit in with the chair. Well, this is off a comment off one of my live shows. Yeah, so I'll just reply directly to Painting Troll. Yeah, I've got a kid. Did you see how long the gaffer tape lasted? I've got to build a hill to replace my yeah, and I can't gaffer tape that to me board, yeah, because it's a suction cup, so I have to like lick it and stick it on every so often. So, man, yeah. Marshis Strados is saying, "Hey ho, it's been a while. Welcome aboard." Right, that's all the comments caught up, and I've got two very quick bits of. Well, we've sort of done the news and we've been chatting with our folks, but we have got a little bit of news, a bit of WGC news that we should mention, shouldn't we, before we get into we spend the last half hour with our main topic. Okay, so I think it's time for a screen share.
Go for
it. Right, let's see if this kills my computer.
If it does, I'll take it.
Oh, just a minute, let me find what I need to do. Like, yeah, I need that one. And
you don't need a bloody running commentary on what you're doing now. Pressing buttons.
Okay, screen share, not full screen, screen share, that one. That. And we should be screen sharing now. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, and you see my big head on your screen.
Excellent, excellent. Right. What have we here? Well, we're on my own personal Facebook, so please ignore any things on the sides. You never know. What have we got on the sides? Come on, you know you want to know. Right, all these people are my friends. Yeah, so my friends, you are live on Facebook. Yeah, and then down here, yeah, we've got just my groups, which, as you'll notice, are all all sort of, you know,
kickboxing people.
Kickboxing people, yeah, because, you know, my lad's a kickboxer, mate. Yeah, and my daughter, yeah, I do apologise. And so, I mean, there, you see, there's his instructor. Yeah, Christopher Guest, by the way, an absolute top instructor. Right, anyway, sorry guys, completely off topic. Right, we have a terrain group on Facebook, yeah, and it's the WGC Terrain group, okay? Give it a search, come join, it's a public group, yeah, we've got a couple of 100 members now, mate, on it, and there's lots of regular postings, but yeah, the mighty Chung Chao, yeah, has set up a competition for November. Yeah, now this competition is basically a ruined piece, yeah, diorama terrain piece, yeah, that signifies ruins, desolation, abandonment. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's running from the 1st of November till the 30th of November. Yeah, entries close on the 15th, so you've got 6 days to sort of get yourself into it. And to get yourself into it, all you need to do is post post a photo of your materials and perhaps a quick sketch of your idea, or, you know, just something to say, this is my starting point, with something with the date on it, like a bit of paper, yeah, so everyone knows you're not like using photos from, you know what I mean, you're not using photos from way back when. Yeah, once you've built your piece, or as you go in, you can post to the group, you know, and get comments and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, we are quite interactive on the group. Yeah, so, you know, if you want to get our opinion on things, post it up. We'll hardly chip in and completely bash you down, yeah, for making us feel inferior because you can build better terrain than us. Yeah, because, you know, you probably can. But anyway, yeah, post your, and then there's an album entry here where you can just simply post your your finished entries, and the winner. Now, let me find out where the winner's prize, because it is a whocking great prize. Now, Chung, my mighty friend, where did you post that prize?
I believe.
Yeah, now check that out. That is not a small prize. That is a professional hot wire cutter. I think it retails about $120.
Yeah, and this was the one he also used in the. I'm echoing. Okay, this is the one he used in the WGC Malifaux board videos that he did.
Right, okay. I mean, it looks like an awesome setup. Looking at very quickly at the Amazon link, yeah, normally retails for about $116, so what's that, about £80? So that's a hell of a price for building a bit of terrain. Yeah, so listen guys, go over to the group, join the WGC Terrain Builders group, yeah, and then you've got what, 21 days till the 30th?
But you do have to have your 3 weeks in, I believe, by the
11th, isn't it?
Say again?
It's the 11th today, isn't it?
No, it's the
Oh,
9th.
the 9th, is it? Yeah.
It's the 11th Tuesday.
11th Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm losing my days. It's because I'm...
Do you know I'm going to tear you for not getting the 11th of November on the right date? Girl?
Look, you just carry on.
Everything all right?
I apologise.
I did me 2 minutes this morning.
Good, good. Right, such good. It's all right. Over in the UK, it's Remembrance Day today. Do you understand what that is? Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
Okay, Remembrance Day is a day where we remember all the fallen from the Great Wars.
Oh.
So it's when we have our Poppy Day. You know, it's when we have, you know, our church services. But the actual special day, it's always the Sunday closest to Armistice, and Armistice is the 11th, which was the end of the Great War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know,
100 years this year, isn't it?
yeah, it's 100 years this year since the Great War ended.
No, started.
Started, yeah. Oh, see, I'm great at historical stuff, aren't I? Anyway, well, that was our little chip in with the with the WGC Facebook page. Yeah, listen, seriously, guys, if you're into your terrain building, then come jump on board and just come say hi on the group, guys. You know what I mean?
And me and myself, I don't know an email. I'm going to be taking part in the challenge too.
I have way too much to be doing to be taking part. Yeah, I don't feel it's appropriate to take part. Yeah,
I'm not going to take prizes, so I'm not a buy on this. But
no, you see, I'm quite fearful that, you know, everyone will see that my terrain just ain't up to their standards, you know, and there's loads of people with better terrain than me. So I'm taking the moral standpoint that as part of the WGC, it wouldn't be fair for me to enter anything competitive. That's the way I'm getting out of it.
I just want to actually build my mouth.
To be truthful, yeah, from my point of view, yeah, I've got the Ruined Terrain Beast, yeah, which is still waiting that set of tutorials to finish that I've just been too busy to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like I can't start from scratch and build something for a competition when I've got so much going on that I can't even build my Ruined Piece tutorial piece.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it doesn't sit right with me, mate. So unfortunately I'm sitting this one out. But I am hoping sometime this month to get cracked on with that. Yeah. A couple of quick comments. Right. Quite a few comments actually. We're getting a bit more interaction here. I'm liking this. Okay, right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm still not seeing any comments on the tracker.
Ah, mate. To be truthful, neither am I. I'm finding the best way to actually follow me is I've got the YouTube page up, and I'm just literally following the comments along with everyone else at their sort of speed. Wild Chevy, I was out in the garage doing manly things and almost missed this. Greetings from Northern Utah. He's one of your compatriots, mate. I'll let you say hello to him.
Hello.
Wild.
If you ever make it down to... This is not Southern Utah, Utah Valley. If you ever make it down there, I actually started working at Dragon Games and Comics. I'm working with them, getting a lot of their wargaming stuff. Come visit us.
Excellent, excellent. The JMG, would you recommend making silicon castings for making copies? Ref, how to cheaply cast plastic models? We know what you're asking, mate. You want to know how to knock out your Space Marines, don't you? Yeah, I'm not going to discuss that, and it's not terrain related, you cheeky bugger. Yeah, but what I will do is go and have a look for RTV silicon box castings. Yeah, or mold making. So that's RTV silicon box mold making, or two-part box mold making. Yeah, I'm sure you'll find something of interest, you know, on YouTube on that matter, but I'm not going into that. I'm not having GW start swinging, you know, the banhammer at me.
If you would like a channel, check out Terrainscapes. He has done a lot of work with molds and casting. He will have far more information than all three of us put together, even if our third bud was here.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Painting Troll is saying, hi, this is Draz, just so you know. Hi, Draz. Draz is an old guy that I used to game with from Shrewsbury at the Gatekeepers Gaming Club. So, hello, matey. Yeah, Anthony Bragg is, used the fame of plaster bandage for the chair. Yes, the infamous plaster bandage from my plaster bandage hill. I could fix my chair with that, but I ain't going to be sitting on it. Can you imagine my backside after sitting on that for a few hours? Yeah, John McLeod, yeah, the independent Scot, yeah, good friend of mine. Leave him be, woman. It's part of his unique style, yeah. So that basically our commenters are having a bitch fight, you know, as we're chatting along. Yeah, Akko Tadgo, hope I got that right. If I didn't, I do apologise. It's basically saying our Remembrance Day is your Veterans Day. Yeah, Dale Dickinson saying, with the deepest or longest cut, what's the deepest or longest cut you can make with a hot wire? It depends on the length of your hot wire, mate. You know, I've seen some pretty big hot wire machines. I mean, I'm not suggesting you do this, yeah, but there is footage out there of people who've made hot wire cutters by getting electric fires and literally unwiring the element and stringing it up in a 6-foot hot wire cutter. Yeah, so it's very much the case, how long's a piece of string? Yeah, but I'm not recommending you do any of that, but if you're interested, there are videos on YouTube. You look like you're going to want to chip in quickly, mate.
Yeah, it looks like we were getting a little bit of echo on both sides.
Oh no, you're going to make me wear the headphones. The headphones are shame. Oh, I don't even know where the headphones...
Have you lost your head? Have the kids had them?
The kids have had my headphones. I will talk...
I see a wiry thing over there on your paint station. Is that it?
It is not. It is not. It's my hot wire cutter, which we're going to get on to hot wiring in a minute.
Get you one of those pink ones if they
and we will start that topic too.
Yeah. You see, I don't mind, you know, because we're running about 10 minutes behind, yeah, but it's been 10 minutes of quality chat with the viewers. Do you know what I mean? I'm feeling this is a quality program, mate. And I'm guessing the guys don't mind hanging with us for an extra 10 minutes while we do half an hour on hot wire tools. And to be truthful, we're already there. Draz is saying, can I assume you didn't go to the Scale Model World this weekend, mate? Yeah, no, I didn't, because I've been dying. Yeah, until today. Yeah, Moss Draz is saying we're getting echoes. I think it's me. I do apologise.
Are you alright with Willow's pink ones?
I will wear my daughter's pink headphones for our viewers.
Alright, so while you're getting your headphones, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the topic.
Alright, well you get started on that. I will go very quiet, yeah, while I await my headphones.
You know, it may also calm you down a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that. It's technology. Yeah, I'm not good at this technology. Whoa, that no wonder it's loud. Give that a go.
Alright.
Just before you do, does that improve things for everyone else? Because if I don't have to wear pink headphones, that would be great.
I think you should just wear the pink headphones anyway.
So, hot wire tools, mate. Off you go.
So, for those of you not familiar whatsoever who've watched this show, simply to find out what is a hot wire tool. Simply put, it is a small tool of some sort with various metal implements attached to electrical that cause a fluid of some sort. Sometimes it's a wire, sometimes it's a knife, and I'm going to show all those, to heat up. Now, it's the same principle as a soldering iron, but it's not as hot as a soldering iron. In fact, I've used soldering irons on terrain before. You don't want to. When it's too hot and they actually cause the terrain, the foam, to completely dissolve around it. So you can't get very precise cuts, unless that's what you're going for. So, I actually have my hot wire tool kit here. The one I have is by Hot Wire from the Factory. And I show you, this is actually their...
Snap!
Yeah! Hey, for once we actually have the same things. Alright, so. Pink headphones.
What have you broke again? Did he fall off again or something?
Anything, woman.
Oh, okay.
We're going to watch him don the pink headphones.
Oh, they're not gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. All right, so let's go ahead and get started going over the professional kit. Mel, do you have the basic or the professional?
What's the difference?
One tool, and also, well, actually one tool and an accessory. So I'll go over the basic kit. You can get these individually, but you save more money if you buy all three of them together. First, this is the one I use absolutely the most. This is the Hotwire Foam Factory Engraver. Now you can see it's gotten some use. It's got all this crud left over from the foam. This one is useful because it allows you to draw designs into the foam. And to give you an idea, I've got a piece that I just actually worked on the other day. Let's see if I can get here. I'm going to turn on this lamp, try and get some lighting. Okay, you see the cobblestone effects that I did right there, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to actually click on me while I'm showing this off. The cobblestone effect is just engraved just barely into it. And if you've seen some of my previous work on my channel, it basically makes it to where when you paint and dry brush it, it will have recesses where you can put the shadows and the washes and everything else. It's very useful for doing stuff like that. I also used it for doing things like runes on large rock pieces. You turn this light out.
Baby,
that is
go into the
first
corner, please.
tool.
Just grab me a piece
That's
of
very useful.
polystyrene.
Hot wire tools.
Yes, that's why I use the pink ones to go with your pink earphones.
The second tool that Hotwire Foam Factory makes, and you can commonly find variant versions of these from multiple companies. We're just using Hotwire Foam Factory because it's just what we have. I've seen all sorts of different stuff, like the one that's the ThermaPro that is up for the challenge. That's a different company that makes that. Hotwire Foam Factory also makes a sort of like a scroll pipe foam cutter. But the foam knife is used
Not big enough.
especially well
Not big enough.
when you are cutting through large thick foam. So this is for when you're hitting like your 2-inch thick foam or bigger, stuff that you can't get with the regular wire cutter. Which the wire cutter is the one I will show you next, and you're gonna hate me, Mel. You hate me. I actually don't use it that often. I haven't even taken it apart. I've not put it together. So essentially, what you have is you have these two arms, and if you use it, which I don't use it as much as I use the other tools, you would take these wires that come with it and you would tie them off at either end taut. They also make a little connection piece that you can bolt down here that will hold it perfectly taut so that it doesn't like bend and warp as you're going through the foam. So
Right.
ideally, you would take the foam and you'd have your wire and you turn it on, let it heat up, and then you would just take the piece and push it through. You don't want to push it hard. You want to let the wire do the work, because if you push it too hard, it will snap and break. Same thing on the knife, not on the engraver though. And then here's the last one. This is not part of the basic kit. This is the hot wire router. You can see why I don't use the other cutter now. The router has a thicker type of, like if you look here, it's actually got these bolted on instead of just wrapped around. And the reason why is I can bend this to whatever shape I want and then run it through the foam.
Now, why can't you just attach that wire to the other one?
Because the other one's connection points are different. These are built for having the wires wrapped around tightly, so that way when you run it through, they're just taut. Well, this one has bolt attachments. Theoretically, you could probably mod this one if you wanted to. But you would still also have to purchase the thicker wire, and it has to be attached this way. I've actually seen some companies that make one that can do all of them.
Right. Now, very quickly, I don't have the grouter thing. Now, what I do have is, obviously, I've obviously got the basic set then.
Mm-hmm.
I've got, I've actually got two of their knives. Yeah, I've got, I don't know if you can see that there, but I've got one that I've got one that I cut down to about 2 inches short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've got a standard full one. And the thing that I find with this one is by cutting it short, I can make sure that I don't get that bend. Do you know what I mean? When you tend to
Yeah,
sort
this one's a little bent.
Yeah, and I get that with the long one, so I have a sort of a short one for where I want to make sure that as I'm cutting, I'm literally using it like a knife and not more of a rapier, if you imagine the sort of analogy. You know, I feel like I've got yeah, obviously I've got the mini soldering iron, and you know, obviously that's what that is. It's a little soldering iron. You know what I mean? Yeah. I too have this. Yeah. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, and I'll tell you why I'm not a big fan. Because I can never get the tension right in there. Yeah, and so I always find these prongs just move towards each other, which gives me a slack wire.
That's why there's an attachment that I'm meaning to order. I just don't use it often enough to have justified the order yet. It's a little metal attachment that you place here, and it holds it flush so that they don't move. You would think they would just design it that way, but I can see why they want this to where you could like get a very tight wire or a very wide one, just depending on the needs you have. Now, do you have the multiple level power supply or just the wall plug one?
Just the wall plug one, to be perfectly honest, which is a bit annoying because I bought their scroll table. Yeah. Now I bought the scroll table, but you know it was I won't say they didn't say that you needed the more powerful sort of, you know, the more powerful industrial supply for it. But it was very much like I didn't find out until afterwards, and it's not a cheap item, and it's like, well, actually, you know, you should have just bundled it with it. You know, it's like saying, oh, we have this one product, and oh, by the way, you need this to go with it.
So this set that I got came with the variable power supply that you said you're using. And what's nice about that is the wall plug is just what it sounds like. You plug it in the wall, and the other thing you notice is that these all don't, you know, have their own plug. Now all of them come like this with just this plug. I'm sure you recognize that, Mel. Yeah. And then you plug it into the wall power supply and you put it in. These come with this little attachment, which is a adapter for the variable power supply, which I didn't want to pull out from my work desk, but it's essentially just a little box that plugs into the wall and has an off button and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it, and you can turn the power level up to adjust the heat. So if I'm wanting to do very faint engravings, for instance, I turn the power level way down. But if I really need to go through something, like if I'm using the knife and I just need to carve through something fast, I turn the power all the way up. And then, you know, in between as needed.
Yeah. That sounds like, I mean, I need to get one of those at the end of the day. I think you've just convinced me, mate, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I mean, Hot Bone Wire Factory are a brilliant company, you know. No company is perfect, you know. Now, to be perfectly honest, my favourite hot wire cutter is this one. Okay?
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah. Now this is Woodland Scenic's one. Okay. It's got
a super heavy duty one too, don't they?
I have no idea, mate. But I picked this up. I think it was about £16. Yeah. Obviously, connector, battery, mains powered. Yeah. Really nice long cable on it. Yeah. It works by simply pushing the trigger forward. Yeah. So there's no on-off switch, so to speak, like hot wire foam. Yeah, you literally put it on, switch it off, and that can be a little annoying at times because there's quite a bit of resistance there. So you know your thumb aches after a little while. But the real thing that I like about this is the fact that it's bracketed. Yeah, i.e. these bars sort of bend in that way and then sit down that way. So there's next to no chance of them flexing inwards. So I can always be sure that that's taut. So, as I'm cutting, it's like I'm always getting the right angle, whereas with the hot wire foam factory ones, yeah, I get that creep, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know, where you need the adapter, whereas these, absolutely brilliant for that job.
I would also like to point out a warning to anybody who starts to play with these tools. Do not be like me, and do not accidentally leave them on overnight. I did this once when, it doesn't get hot enough to start a fire. Don't worry. But I did accidentally, on my old one, I burnt out the switch. Like, the circuit. Crack it open and direct feed the wiring and resolder everything to where it was no longer an on-off. Instead, it was just you plug it in the wall and it's on. Now, the upside was it got a lot hotter after that, but not probably for a good reason.
Oh, mate. Now, quick word of warning for no one who's actually used this stuff before, yeah? Obviously, you're melting polystyrene, yeah? So you're getting, like, noxious fumes, yeah? Which can make you feel a little bit lightheaded, yeah? So always do it in a well-ventilated area.
While he shows you that, I'm actually going to go grab something from my studio to show you as well.
All right, well, he's on a jolly, yeah? I will talk to you commenters. Right, guys. Okay, more comments below. Yeah, I know there's more comments below. Give me the comments. Give me the comments. Give me the comments. Right, you guys have been chatting, aren't you? Right. Okay. That's all. What you call it? Extra pair for you. Listen, guys, you're gonna have to slow down with the comments here. I'm struggling. Yeah, I need. John, help! John, help! Yeah. That's a bit of an inside John. That's an inside joke. Yeah, John normally helps me on my sort of live chats by doing my comments for me. I'm rubbish at it. I'm really rubbish. Dude. Yeah, you're Blaine, aren't you?
Nope. No, I am your brother's father's cousin's roommate.
Nah, mate. What you need to do, you need to take the filters off that, yeah, and you need to sort of go, I was not born in the polystyrene. I was merely molded by it.
Okay.
What is it, Blaine? Go on, do Blaine. Do Blaine.
Do what?
Blaine.
Blaine?
The Dark Knight, the guy with the face.
Oh!
You know, you merely adopted the dark. I was born and molded into it.
I was born and molded into the foam. Okay, now that silliness is over. This is an industrial strength mask that filters a lot of toxins in the air, paint fumes, fumes from the foam, all that kind of stuff. This one cost me about $35, I'd like to say, and the filters last quite a while. Whenever I'm doing foam cutting or anything with noxious fumes, I slap this sucker on. Now here is the thing to remember. You really actually don't need something this heavy duty unless you have a lot of facial hair like myself. If you are like Mel, you know, Mr. Babyface over there, I'm just saying, you don't have any facial hair compared to me.
That's because, mate, yeah, let me give you an up close. Do you see the white? That stuff grows like you wouldn't believe, yeah? So I have to trim it back, otherwise I'd look like Santa.
Oh, okay. Well, if you basically got a small amount of facial hair and you don't have this big, massive, you know, long braid that I've got going on, you can also use the paper face masks, and then they also make ones that have little filters built in. Those are a little bit more affordable, but the problem is they will not fit flush and create a seal over your face if you have a lot of facial hair. Thankfully for the ladies that are watching this, if any ladies are watching this, hopefully there are, other than your wife.
Yeah. We are gender unbiased, just like we are pink color unbiased. You know, we don't mind the pink.
But if you do have facial hair, I would suggest picking up one of these. Even if even if you just grow it out during the winter, you know, for whatever reasons, but it creates a nice tight seal. So that is my little piece of safety advice when it comes to the hot wire tools.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, well ventilated areas, you know, masks are always good. And at the end of the day, yeah, if you're getting properly into terrain building, guys, yeah, and girls, yeah, no gender unbiased, yeah, get a mask, because it ain't just this stuff. It's MDF dust. It's noxious fumes from resins. It's all sorts. Terrain building, you know, we use some pretty toxic stuff at times.
Oh yes, and the thing is,
you
only have one set of lungs. You can't buy a new pair of those.
Oh, exactly. Well, I mean, it depends on how rich you are. I'm sure you know. I'm sure, you know, if you had enough money, you could find a pair if you really needed it. But for us mortals, you know what I mean, who don't have our own, like, 737s and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, look after your body.
You could drop $500,000 along on the black market, or you could just spend $35 on that.
Yeah. Now, another very quick safety tip, obviously, with hot wire tools, and, you know, it's obvious, yeah, but they're hot. They do burn, yeah. They really do burn. Yeah. So let's now, with regards to the comments, yeah, they're talking about football and rugby, mate. Yeah, they're in a world of their own. Yeah, and there's loads of them. So in future, I'd actually like to propose a little bit of an idea. One of the commenters is what you call it, Bane. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, John. Yeah, I know it's not Blaine. It's Bane. Okay, get it. Sorry.
Wow, that's why I didn't understand who you were talking about till you did the voice.
You know me. Dude, I'm here melting polystyrene with no ventilation or mask on. Yeah, I'm not going to get it right, am I? But I'm going to smile. It's all going to be fine. So anyway, yeah, John, what you call it, he's a good friend of mine, yeah. He helps me on my Hangouts, yeah, by reading the comments for me because I'm useless at it. So I'm thinking we may have to drag him in at some point in the future, or someone similar, just to help us out because they talk a lot, mate. These watchers, these commenters, yeah.
And I'm actually got it brought up now. We're probably just going to stop using the Hangout toolbox at this point. But I've got it brought up now, and I'm seeing that, yeah, they are talking about rugby and a lot of football. And let's see. Yep, it looks like we are caught up to that point.
So what's the most challenging thing you've ever had to do with phone, then, using hot wire tools?
Okay, most challenging thing. And I'm sad to say I might have pictures of it somewhere. I had to build a Tau Warden from scratch.
Right.
And I used the hot wire tools to get a lot of etching into that, and I also used it to get a lot of the shape cutting into that because, you know, Tau vehicles very smooth, no rough cut.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's nothing straight on a Tau thing, is it?
No. And for those of you who do not know what a Tau Warden is, if you've ever seen the Forge World Tau Manta, it's bigger. And when I say bigger, I mean the Manta is the size of the body of the Warden. And the wings, I had to build the wings to actually like separate and plug in with like super industrial 2-inch thick magnets. So that is probably the most challenging thing I have had to do with hot wire tools.
Probably the most challenging thing for me, yeah, was, and it's not a project that's completed yet, it's just been cut out ready for me to do, was this idea of this wizard's tower. Yeah, and I'd seen the image somewhere, yeah, and it's just, you know, when you're browsing and you see something, you go, yeah, I want to build that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was one of those moments, and I sort of like, in a bit of spare time, I'd cut all the polystyrene pieces out. But basically the idea was that it was sort of like a tower that went up that had a platform with another bit of the tower on, yeah, but it had this organic 2 other towers coming off it, sort of joined into the platform, and it was all round, and then it had the sort of peaking roofs. Yeah, and so what I was trying to do is cut various circles, you know, at various sizes and depths, so I could put essentially assemble them and then basically carve all the detail into it. Yeah, and I found that very challenging because obviously, I mean, I've got a 3D scroll table, you know, from what you call it, from Hot Wire Foam Factory, but even with that, sort of the problem was that it was curved, so I was having to sort of offset and use different sort of sized circles, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to sort of get that sort of natural curve, and you know what I'm trying to describe, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me, Eldar terrain. I have done some Eldar webways before that was pretty challenging as well. And that was back when I did not use the good stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there's these really cheap $5 ones you can get that are just charged with 2 of the big D sized batteries.
Oh, I remember those. They chew through those batteries so quickly.
Yes. But you know, when you've got a low budget, you buy a pack of D-strength batteries just to get a couple of shapes cut out. They do work.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I mean, I used to use those before I bought this, and I bought this 12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's stood to the test of time, mate. It's a good bit of kit. That
one then.
But I mean, it was in the UK, the price of batteries and that sort of stuff, and the price of, I mean, I had the Games Workshop ones, which were basically a cardboard tube with a bit of wiring in and the cutting mechanism. And I think the costings was, you know, buy a GW1 with 2 batteries and then buy another set of batteries was the same as buying this. You know, so I mean, my recommendation is, I know what you're saying is, yeah, if you want to do a quick couple of bits of terrain, but if you ever think you're ever going to do any more terrain, just buy one of these. You know what I mean?
Now, this actually brings up a question that I have, because I don't know this answer.
Go on then. Go on.
Other than buying just the actual name brand wires, what type of wire would be good to use with these if you run out? Because obviously, you know, these things are pretty pricey when you go through the name brand places.
It's tungsten wire, isn't it?
Tungsten wire?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if it actually says so. Obviously, it wouldn't be very smart for them to package what type of wire it is on here. So.
Well, basically, tungsten wire is what's in elements, isn't it? It's what's in the elements of electric, fires. Yeah.
True, and if it's low charge.
And tungsten is known to be able to stand up to high temperatures as an electrical current passes through it. I mean, that's why we have, I mean, the tungsten filaments in our normal light bulbs. Don't quote me as an authority, guys. I'm just sort of like remembering from back in the old school days, but I'm pretty sure it's tungsten in the electric fires. And that's how the first hot wire cutters came about. It was that unwinding of the electric fires. And I'm assuming it's exactly the same metal because of the properties we need. You know, it doesn't melt when it gets hot.
That is a true statement. Also, Painting Troll just brought up a good question on comments. Are the main reasons for using foam due to its lightweight and ease of use for wargaming? Most of the terrain books I have or read seem to mostly use MDF cardboard and mod rock. I can answer why foam is used more predominantly now, because yes, this stuff takes a beating. I mean, the cardboard is going to warp and degrade over time. I know this because, well, I used cardboard when I first got into wargaming to create some pretty cheap and effective temporary terrain. You know, a small hot glue gun and a trip to Walmart at 3 in the morning, and I had plenty of materials to at least create some suitable stand-ins until I eventually got into the more proper materials and tools. You know, literally a pair of scissors, a hot glue gun, and cardboard from your local grocer, and you could build some buildings. But they don't last. They really don't.
Yeah, the other thing you've got to sort of say, I mean, with regards to the terrain books, yeah, you've got to remember that they've been written for the railway people. Yeah, no, those guys build like 6 foot by 4 foot static displays that don't move. Yeah.
Yep, old Citadel How to Make Wargames Terrain. This is an old one.
It certainly is. But no, I was just saying that, those terrain books, yeah, the guy did making static displays for the railway displays. Yeah, and using mod rock and plaster bandage is quite common. Yeah, because they're making these massive structures that if you made out of polystyrene would actually be quite of a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, quite expensive. Because I mean, it's okay you're saying, yeah, we can buy a couple of sheets of polystyrene, but when you're making like mountains that are, you know, 2-3 foot high and covering, you know, large expanses, it starts to get expensive. And so obviously, you know, things like cardboard boxes, rolled up newspaper. I mean, there's a technique they use where they get the newspaper and they fold it in on themselves and then tape it up to make like these cushions that they then tape all together, and then they lay plaster bandage over it, and that's how they make, which is great for static displays, but for wargames terrain doesn't really work that well, if you know what I mean. John McLeod's saying, I have one of those, went through 12 batteries making my graveyard piece.
Batteries making 3 Eldar webways, so I can imagine it probably would take that long.
No, that's hilarious. It's all right. He was at my house not long ago. If he'd have told me he didn't have one, I'd have given him one.
So,
12 batteries.
Because they brought up the old, you know, cardboard style stuff. I just thought it would be neat to show this off real quick. Like, this is one of my favorite entries from this. This is the old 1996 book.
Yeah.
This bridge, and it looks really good. But the only thing is, we had these at the game stores when I first started playing Warhammer, and they were just so beat up. And I had actually asked someone one day, because I started building the cardboard and noticing it wasn't lasting that long. I was like, "What are those? Like, 8 or 9 years old?" And he's like, "Oh no, someone built that last year." And it just doesn't stand up. Now, with the pink foam, yes, your paint will scrape off at game stores if you've ever been to a game store or a gaming club. Regular use, you have to do minor repairs of the flock and paint. But the actual core is still relatively intact with the pink foam. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be truthful, if your scenery in a gaming store gets to the stage where you can see pink foam, that person needs throwing out. Yeah, because you know what I mean. You've got to damage a piece of terrain quite significantly, unless they've accidentally dropped their army box on it. You've got to hit a piece of terrain pretty hard to get down to pink.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Scuffs, little things like that. Occasionally you'll get nips off foam core buildings, or you're on the corners as arms catch them. Yeah, but to get down to pink foam on a properly built terrain piece, someone's gone at that with some hammer.
Yeah. So, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Because I think we are close to wrapping it up.
Right. Okay, well, John's just saying, there's a main supply version of the one I use, and I kind of wish I'd got the slightly more expensive main supplies version now. Yeah, guys, listen, the battery ones, they sound like a good idea, and they sound like a good entry. Yeah, they're not. Okay, just spend that extra £5, $8, $9 and get an electric one. I mean, I think these are literally £16, so $25. Yeah, it will be cheaper, than one of those cardboard ones with the batteries.
Now when did they start making them plug in the wall? Because from the '96 book, it has a picture of one of the old battery-powered ones. So I'm wondering if this started to become a recent thing, like in the late '90s to early 2000s, and that's why some of the older books still call back to the battery-powered ones, where they maybe just didn't have them available. That's something I'd like to find out myself.
Yeah, that's worth exploring. And if anyone in the comments knows, throw it up. Frosty001 saying he's got that book. Long timer.
Let's see. You can buy nichrome resistance wire, nickel chrome, in various diameters, which is the perfect wire for cutting pink foam. 10 meters costs $5 on eBay.
That'll do.
Wow.
Nickel chrome resistance wire. Thank you, Anthony Bragg.
Yes, you just saved us a ton of money.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have to switch to Geico.
I do believe that, that I think we should start a new section, called Commenter of the Show. And I think Anthony has just won the show by saving us a shed load of money, with the idea of using nickel chrome resistance wire. Now, as always, this is something you've heard on the internet, folks, so everyone do their own research and just double check and, caveat supply and all that sort of stuff, I mean, for all we know, he might be like a mad scientist, and nickel chrome with a wire, if we wrapped it around, it might blow up. He might be trying to assassinate us, dude. I mean, he is a terrain builder. He could be trying to take out the competition, you know what I mean? Is that what you're doing, mate?
And as always, you can always watch our various channels, and we usually figure things out. When we screw things up and it doesn't work, we tend to tell you.
Mate, if there's one thing I've learned about terrain building, it's a learning curve. Every last little bit, Share your successes, share your failures. Now, obviously, I've been busy away carving away, because it's a hot wire special, so I made a little rock mountain.
There you go.
Yeah, just because I could, and also this is all I've really got left, and I need this for a project. Well, I've got some more, but I need that as well, so I was going to carve something big, and it's like, nah, dude, you'll have to go buy some more then.
I actually just bought a bunch of that myself for a set that I'm going to be building a bowl.
Don't even tell me the price. Don't go there.
It went up. It went up.
Good.
Oh, that's so mean. The last time I checked, they were like $19, $20 for an 8-foot sheet. It went up to $32, and that's almost a 50% increase.
They caught our last hangout. That's what it was. They caught our last hangout, mate. Yeah. I can see no more comments. How many people we got watching? 11 watching. Nice one, guys. Nice one. Painting Troll was just saying on the hill thing. Watch that. He saw one that used expanding foam, then covered with mod rock. Granted, it seemed quite popular with dioramas. Yeah, diorama like they're sort of plaster bandage hills and that sort of stuff. Wargamers, I think one of the reasons we like the polystyrene sheets so much is because they're level.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? We know we can carve an edge to even bevel into the top a bit, but we know we can do that layer thing and we can get models standing on them.
But have you seen what I believe it's Dream Spirit Wargaming and Creedcraft, which is kind of some guys that they know over.
Yeah. I've seen him.
They've been doing some really
Milos does wonderful work. Wonderful work.
They've been doing some really nasty Nurgle boards using the expanding foam, very small amounts along the board to create almost like this creeping mold that goes everywhere and up and over things. But just not using it in huge amounts. Just the whole less is more thing.
Yeah.
Working out really well.
Most definitely. I mean, their work's awesome. Anthony's just saying, yeah, genuinely, it does work. He carves tons of foam with great results. So I'm going to pick some up and give it a go, give it a trial. Yeah, if I'm not on the show, if I'm not around on YouTube for the next month, we'll know he's assassinated me. Yes. We'll have to send the terrain ninjas after him. Right, guys, it is 11:15. Yeah, I think it's been a good show, sir. It's been a good show.
Yes, and next time, hopefully, we will still have Bill coming back in. He's out due to the technical difficulties, so we will get that straightened out by next month's show. As always, thank you for watching.
Just very quickly before we go, just remember the WGC Terrain Builders group on Facebook and the Ruins competition that's going on. Jump onto Facebook, check out the WGC Terrain Builders group, and there's a post in there about the competition. All the details are on there. And remember, guys, next show we'll be showing off some of the finished entries and that sort of stuff. So if you want to get your stuff on the show, you know how to get it on, don't you? See you in the group, guys. Right, over to you, sir.
Okay, that was pretty much it. So I'm going to just say you all take care, and we will see you next show.
Okay, well, as we say in England by the two very famous comedians, it's good night from him.
And it's good night from, I don't know.
Say him. Just say him. That'll do. Right, folks, we're out.